Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Object 261. It's the Tier 10 Soviet SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka, and it's under the command of the Bassman from Hell. And yes, he's got the bounty rotation device, the improved gun laying drive, and also the improved rammer. Game on! Surprisingly, he's not actually carrying food. No, he's opted to have a manual fire extinguisher in case the vehicle catches fire. I think that's very unusual because normally most people will actually carry the food to get the improved performance from the crew and get the gun laid on much quicker. He's got competition because there's a T92 on his team. On the enemy team, they've got a Batchat 155-58 and an Object 261. Well, as many of you know, the Object 261 is basically very related to the IS-7. In fact, they made 3 different versions. One with a 152mm gun, another with the which was open with a 152, and of course the last one was this version number 3, with an 18cm main gun, capable of doing 800 alpha with standard stun shells, 45mm of pen, and the blast radius is actually 9.5 meters. So it's smaller than the other tier 10s, but it is more effective because it's got a faster reload. 30.68 by the book, he's got 25.95. And he's looking at the map and saying, well, the enemy are pushing on the east side of the map really hard. He fires ahead, narrowly misses the Leopard, who's moving very quickly indeed. Our guys are under a lot of pressure on that side of the map. Now, it is related to the Object 263. That's a TD version of the same Arty, but with a 152mm gun. So you could say that was the 261-2, because of course that's the version with the open turret or open vehicle. Oh, he fires the round in. It actually went ahead of the vehicle, the enemy, and instead all he did was get some stun, but he is getting the stun assist, and look at that, he's picked up the communications expert already, so that will improve his crew skills, and that will improve the reloading. So a look, yes, it's 25.36 now. I think that's showed that, and he did actually get 309 hit points of damage. Okay, relocating. As you can see, Bassman's got 2 marks of excellence on his barrel, working on the 3rd. It's the same thing with me. I keep working on the 3rd, but as you know, I don't do that many games now because, of course, I spend a lot of time doing the video. Rounds out. Lands just in front of the IS-7. Now, you don't get as many rounds as you would like. This thing will only carry 20 rounds in total, and that can be a bit of a problem because you could easily run out of ammo during a game. Well, the enemy EBR went down, and we're reloaded, so we're going to go to this TESAC. You notice how quickly it dials in. Unfortunately, we've got nobody watching the TESAC at the moment. He's reluctant to actually fire. Blind, he needs to see where the TESAC is. Our Manticore is nearby. He should be able to pop up and take a look. After all, he was the one who was actually being fired at by the TESAC. There he is. And before we could even shoot, the 60 TP takes him out. So good news, we're 3-all still. But we're going for this IS-7, just the other side of the center line. Direct hit, good shot. 280 from that one. He's also very careful not to knock any of the trees down, which of course can give the enemy a clue as to where you are. Heshban, in a bush, thinks he's unspotted. Rounds out. Well, that is a penetrating shot, but a low roll, 772. Remember, it's 800 alpha, so yeah, that's on the low side, but the FB would have felt that. He probably touched the turret, and the guy has pulled back. He also should realise that you've only got a limited reload or fast reload, and this is going to happen again. And this time round, he's wiped out because, of course, that was another penetrating shot right onto the turret, and the FP is no more. Whenever you see a target of opportunity with very thin armor, go for it, because this thing will normally penetrate. Remember, that 45 millimeters of pen is more than enough. Leopard 1 seen down at the far end of the map. This is right down the other end. Now he stopped suddenly, so... Oh, he got tagged! I think that was a shot from the T-92 alongside us who actually got hit as well. We didn't get stun assist, which means that it was the T-92 who got that. He got the stun assist. Still scores even though, and the enemy attack on the east side of the map has fallen. It's basically failed, and we get another 331 off the Leopard. Well, the enemy just lost that Leopard 1, and it was the T-92 that finished him off. There is an IS-7 right down the far end. Our EBR's found him, and he's not the only one. There's their Object 261. And, of course, we'll respond in kind, I think. Rounds out. Well, he changed his mind because he realised that the EBR was more than likely going to kill the enemy Object 261. And, in fact, he was killed well before our shell would have gone in. Things have gone badly over on the east side. We thought our tanks had actually wiped the enemy out. Their attack had been blunted, but in fact they carried out another attack, and this time round they have succeeded. And we've got no tanks over on the east side of the map, and this is the time that I would normally say to most players, time to head south, young man, time to head south. The T-92 is saying the same. They're going to have to defend the cap area, but they're going to have to do it from around about the midway line. The Leopard 1 and the EBR 105 are returning. They heard the blinking that was going on, this calling, and they've realised what's going on. There's 3 enemy tanks, including a Manticore, headed for our cap. But now the enemy has been spotted over on the other side of the battlefield. It's a Dravek. Can we get a shell into him? Rounds out. Yep, that looked like it struck, but he went unspotted just as the shells went in. Now we've only got 8 rounds left, and the enemy is now starting to come over the railway crossing. A BZ-75's appeared first. Nicely dialed in, but no shell yet. Any second. Go for it. Yep, gets a hit. 244 from the first one. Because there's only 20 rounds, most players opt to have nothing but HE because, of course, they need the stun to get the assist. A few players I've spotted actually have used nothing but the non-stun HE because, of course, they like the amount of damage that they can collect. That BZ's still there, but he's not spotted at the moment. Scores are still even, but basically we hold the entire west side of the map and the enemy holds the entire east side of the map. You notice that it's gone completely vertical. Of course, we can't get close to their cap, and they're having difficulty getting close to our cap. When you get battles like this, it could go either way very, very quickly. Our FP4005 makes a blunder, and he tries to head towards the enemy cap, and the Manticore of all people takes him out. And we put a round that splashes the Manticore for 371. But the scores are still 9-9 because they lose their BC75 to our T92. So it's still even. Even the hit points is only marginally different. Okay, lines up a shot. Can he get this one in? Well, 223. That was the T92. Okay, we can take out this AMX-50B. We just need to get a direct hit. Buys it in. Just missed out. 198. These won only a few hit points. Well, here's a change of events, because now we're headed back over the other side. It's assuming that that Manticore is probably coming up this end of the map to try and hunt down and find out where some of our guys are. They still have that batch at 155.58, but of course they lost their Object 261. We've still got both Artys. Okay, the enemy has been spotted. And there's that AMX-50. He's only on 20 hit points. It's an easy kill. We fire the round in. Unfortunately, no kill. I think he may have made it just too far forward. And the AMX-50B stopped in his tracks when he saw something was coming in. Going to the back of the map. Of course, it used to be that whenever you get a game on Prokhorovka, everyone would try and head for that over the on the east side of the map into grid square A8 and occupy that position. Oh, that's better. The traffic takes 336. In fact, that's where he's headed now. He's going over to the traditional position. They took away most of the bushes on this side, so you couldn't hide over here as easily as you did before. It used to be you could actually hide so well that the enemy tanks would have to get very close and actually proximity spot you before they knew you were there. But now they've taken away the bushes, so it's fairly obvious where somebody is. You could also hide in that bush there, but they've taken away some of the size of that, and now this is the final position right over this side. And there's another bush, and the M48 Patton appears to be hiding in this one. We're into the 2 minutes. This is going right to the end. He's right in the corner of the map now. Well, nearly. Oh, and now it's 4 left on either team. We lost our T92. The enemy have lost their Leopard and their Dravek. Okay, there's the IS-7. Can we put a dent into him? We've only got 2 shells left. Well, only 114 hit points. We need a direct hit to make sure that he's out the game the next shot. The Leopard probably take him out with 1 round. Oh, and the Manticore's coming towards us. And there you can see the T92 got killed on the railway line. Yep, he was down there at the time, just crossing. So the Manticore was chasing us around that side of the map. And there's the AMX-50B. Well, we can take this guy out. We've just been spotted. We need to get a move on. Round south. Well, we fired the round in, but now we've been spotted and the Manticore's in reload. There's only 2 left on our team. Now it's only us. Bassman has been left all alone by his teammates. And the Manticore reloaded. And that was, I'm afraid, the last shot of the game. is the end of battle stats, and that was a third-class tank for the Bassman from Hell in the Object 261. He did get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12, and he got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. His win rate was 4,283, which is Super Unicum standard, but sadly, this was a loss. And in fact, actually, Bassman didn't send it in. I actually found it sitting on the map. He'd actually stored it there, and I thought, oh, not in the on the map. I found it in the storage area on the replays website. I thought, yes, we've got to have that one in, because he did so well. He did put the effort in, and he almost ran out of shells. Well, he did run out of shells right at the end. That last shot on the AMX-50B was his last round. But he knew that by then he was definitely going to lose, because he'd been spotted, and he didn't even get the AMX-50B right at the end. So that guy managed to escape after ending the game with just 20 hit points. We can see that the Bassman got the highest damage on his team, but not the highest damage overall. The Dravek on the enemy team picked up a Confederate and 5,389 hit points. He was the highest scorer. Second highest was Bassman with 4,648 hit points, followed by the Cranvarn, who managed 4,562 hit points, beating that AMX-50B, who only had 4,430. When it came to kills, top scorer was the IS-7 on the enemy team and their Manticore. Both managed 5 kills apiece. The Manticore got a Piscucci's medal. He killed the T-92 and he killed us right at the very end. And 2 kills went to the Patton, our T-92, our EBR-105, and on the enemy team, the Leopard 1 and their Batchat 155-58. And when it came to base XP, it's the Manticore who did the best with 1,190, mostly down to spotting, I think. We can just check that. 3,822 spotting, yes, so he did work very hard. And also the IS-7 got 1,024. The only two to get over 1,000 base, the IS-7 getting a steel wall in that game. And we can see the Bassman 499. So yes, he tried, worked very hard, ran out of shells, but I'm sorry, sadly it wasn't enough. He fired all 20 rounds in his magazine, got 5 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrating shots, and 15 splash. Both penetrating shots came at the FP4005. They hit the turret. 4,648 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Received 2 hits, both from the Manticore, and both penetrated, both 105mm, and of course that was the end of us. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 1 was killed, and he earned 1,919 hit points with stun assist off 16 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made a profit of 5,799 credits from that game, even though he lost the game. He got 6,840 experience credits though, for actually getting a Gauze medal, which is an epic medal on a losing game. And he got 5 bonds and 1,191 experience points as well out of the game. So, yes, sad that it's a defeat, but it's a defeat with honor, because he fought right to the bitter end. And, well, I think if he managed to jump down into the gap, into the river down below, not that he was trying to drown. He wasn't trying to drown. He was just trying to hide from the Manticore and extend the time that he was alive so that he could then run out the game without them managing to kill all of our team. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.